or ago.
Bring us in, Troy.
All right, SANDCAST is going, ladies and gentlemen, and I have a very brand new SANDCAST podcast coffee mug. If you're looking on YouTube, you get to see it. It is really sweet. You're going to want to get your hands on one of these. Available at sandcastvolleyball.com.
Yep.
Right?
And our specific merch website, sandcastmerch.com.
Oh, yeah, there's more people.
Either works.
But this mug, wow, it fits my hand real well.
You know, Trav, I do actually have to say, I feel like I need to take partial credit for the merch section of SANDCAST. Because I remember whenever I stayed with you last year, you were asking me a ton of questions.
Because you have...
I was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, because you have your own little merch set up with the blue-faced baby.
Yeah.
See, Trav was never going to give you credit for that.
That's okay.
True.
That's okay.
I forgot. We use, what's the website? It's Printful?
Yeah, Printful.
And then it's super easy. You just like set up products and it's awesome.
Look at that. You're part of the team. Evan Cory, ladies and gentlemen. It's first episode, but he's low-key working behind the scenes.
That was my rent, actually, for the week.
Perfect.
How have your merch sales been?
In the off season, not hot.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I expected. In season, you're able to push it out a little bit more and
Do you bring stuff with you to tournaments?
So, I bought like $1,000 worth of stuff, I think, and then just started carrying it around.
Yeah.
To stuff that I don't fly to because flying is just a pain to try and get all of that.
Carry-ons only.
Yeah. But I mean, back when I was in Louisiana, I was like, I can drive a lot of places, but now I'll probably won't have it on me at a lot of places.
Yeah.
I don't feel like dealing with the shipping and all that to certain spots. And that's not my job.
Yeah.
It's rare that you find younger athletes, especially in this sport, where they're actually like thinking brand and like actually making products and like getting their face out there early on in their career. Mm-hmm. What kind of gave you the idea to do that?
Well, one, it helped like whenever I started doing the blue nose.
That'll stand out.
It created, it kind of like created like this like look, and just in my head, I was like, you know what would look really cool if like I had this like the whole like same thing, so like my hat and everything and the nose, and then it was just like a silhouette though. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, that would look really cool. Like I had people ask me actually at FUDs whenever we won. Okay. People started asking me like, because I had like all those people in the crowd like wanting to like put it on.
Dude, you can push the product at FUDs.
Exactly.
Do you have a Zinc sponsorship or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I got it after the fact of already wearing it.
Yeah.
After FUDs, it was just like everybody started like messaging me like, we need merch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just started wearing it during COVID. I was just getting charred. Like my nose would just get charred, and like it wouldn't matter how much sunscreen I put on like throughout the day and reapplied. Right. I mean, you go to whenever we were playing the like AVP America tournaments, and those are like. What Trav's story of 8 a.m. to what 1 a.m. So 17-hour day.
Yeah.
And I mean the majority of that probably like 9 to 10 hours just spent in the sun.
Yep.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go and find like the zinc oxide sunscreen. I'll go look like a lifeguard, and then thankfully the first website I came across, I was not gonna have to wear the white blocky sunscreen like lifeguards wear. But they had all the colors, and Trav can attest this. I've worn like this color hat since I was like 15 years old.
Oh, really?
And so it's always been like a thing. And so I was like, I'm just gonna match my nose to my hat.
Yeah.
And then the first tournament I wore it. It wasn't the Ohio tournament you played in, but it was the one before it.
Okay.
And I played with Steve Roshitz.
Okay.
And it was basically the same thing. 48 teams.
Yeah.
It was like the first event like that was allowed like after like everything like shut down.
Okay.
Like everybody kind of was out. There was people from all around the country still, and they're like, we're finally able to have an event that's like not an underground. Everybody go pay cash in somebody's backyard so we can go and play our volleyball tournaments. So I ended up winning that with Steve, and everybody was like, "Who's this kid with a blue nose?" And so it stuck.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, "All right, I guess I got to keep wearing it."
Blue nose guy. Now you show up to night matches, one match.
Yeah.
In and out, night match, not blue nose.
Still going blue nose.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
I had some long tournaments.
I've had a funny one. So actually, that Ohio place there is still in winter. Mm-hmm. It was cold, and then like people were like, "Where's your nose?" They have the indoor, and they're like, "Where's your nose?"
That's hilarious.
And I was
Put
like,
your nose on.
We're inside. I was like, we're inside. What do you want from me? And they're like, you've got to put it on. And so now I like no matter what, it's time for the nose.
It's like Mr. Potato Head. Where's your nose? Put it on. Dude, those were some long tournaments in Ohio, though.
Yes.
We were like the AVP America ones. Like you can go all day. So it was a 48-team double limb.
I think I saw a picture where it was like the indoor is a massive indoor facility.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, ours when we played all outdoors. So they kept the winners bracket
because we're winners
outside, and then if the contenders and losers bracket was put in the indoor courts because it's like 7 outdoor courts and 7 indoor courts. It's a pretty sweet facility. Ours was in the summer.
Ours wasn't. Yeah.
It was good.
I've played a lot up there actually. Probably like 6 or 7 times.
Wow.
Yeah, but we played. My first match was at 10. Yours was probably around the same time, and our final finished after like 2 in.
Wow.
6 matches later, and we won all of them to get there.
Yeah, we both went straight through the winners.
We still played 6 matches. It was a long day.
That's brutal.
Yes, it was.
What happened if you went through the losers? The other
you
people
you didn't make it. You didn't make it that far in the day.
It was basically single limb, but you still had to play.
Right.
Yes.
Brutal.
Because I was gonna say, even like the teams that we played in the semis, you ended up playing Bruno in your semi, right?
Yeah.
So we played Bruno in our quarter.
Okay.
And then did you play Alex Storm and Charlie
we played them in the quarters?
So the 2 teams that were in the winners' quarters ended up playing each other in the semis just because everybody else was gassed.
Right.
Yeah. It was a long day. But you're no stranger to this. You've played more volleyball than, how old are you? Like 25?
24.
24? I think the amount of volleyball matches you've played probably eclipses the number of any 24-year-old in the country. It's because you not only play like all the tournaments possible, but these are like marathon tournaments.
Yeah. I feel like me and JD played so many of those together.
Yeah.
Throughout the years. For people who don't know, JD's our good buddy from back at home, and that's kind of how I felt like I started, and that's kind of like all you do in the Southeast. It's like
that's both of us.
You just go and play like 1-day tournaments, and then most of the time it's a Saturday, Sunday. There's a Saturday one and then a Sunday one at some other complex, and so you play Saturday, you play Sunday, and you just try and go and make a couple $100 on the weekend. But that's just what I'm used to. I'm used to playing a lot of volleyball, and so when people try to get me tired when I play volleyball, I love it because I'm like, all right,
doesn't work.
I've done it all. I've done it enough in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned home. So for the listeners, just provide a little bit of background, like where home is.
Yeah.
And how a kid from Louisiana ends up being one of the most promising talents in the U.S.
Well, I still don't know how that's going to happen, but I'm from Metairie, Louisiana, which is like 15 minutes outside downtown New Orleans. Like drive to the Superdome is literally 15 minutes for me, and I started playing. I feel like anybody who's done anything in volleyball out of Louisiana, Kristen included. If it wasn't for Bruce White, he kind of like created volleyball there, and Coconut Beach, like the iconic like place for Louisiana, like that's where the AVP is going to be at this year and everything. He started all of that, and so like a shout out to him because Louisiana I don't think would have a volleyball scene if it wasn't for him, and he like really big on pushing out like and trying to get to be a national like recognition that there is Louisiana volleyball throughout the years. And then what you can attest, there's how many complexes in Louisiana?
So many. I don't know.
There's like 8 to 10, I think, within an hour radius of each other.
It shocks me every time I hear it because I'm like, wait, I play. Why have I never been down there?
Have you never played in the AVPs in New Orleans?
No, we were in like Russia or whatever one time, and then I think I was sick the other time.
Yeah,
and then this
when the
year's
AVP's
over
gone
Ostrava.
there, it hasn't been much to miss.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Because it's been like just dumping rain.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got Coconut Beach, and then 10 minutes down the road is White Sands.
White Sands, and then
you have Diggs. Is Diggs
Diggs
still there?
they just sold it, so it's no longer a thing.
Then you have Mango's, which used to be the home court of LSU, which I think is probably the best man-made facility.
Is that a bar?
In the country.
It's a bar restaurant with how many? Like 10 courts?
They're up to 12 now, I think.
12 courts of like the deepest sand. It like rivals Manhattan.
I was gonna say it's pretty close to this.
It's legit, yeah.
Wow.
And then you have the Oasis.
Now. There's a place called Point Break in Slidell.
Okay.
Which is that's like 20 minutes from where Diggs was. There's another place that just popped up in Lake Charles. There's 2 places in Lake Charles now.
Jeez.
There's like 2 places in Lafayette, and it's just got like. How did?
But
Louisiana, we actually love volleyball.
Yeah,
it's like a very little known thing. But basically, Bruce had Coconut Beach, and the first time I ever played volleyball, I would always go out and most people around the country can probably relate. Complex wise is like beer leagues. My mom was playing in a beer league. And I was like 13 or 14 at the time. And like every week she'd just bring me out because like I can't go anywhere. I don't have a car or anything. Yeah. And so she's like, all right, you're coming out Friday night to Coconut Beach with us. And she had a team and I was not allowed to play, which made me so upset. Right. And like, I mean, just like competitively, I've always played sports growing up, played pretty much everything. And then like one night they needed a sub on their team and like could not find anybody. And they're like, fine, I guess you can play. I guess we'll allow you to play this time, Evan. And they were like, oh damn, he's actually like better than that person was missing. So I guess you can play next week too. And after I played a couple weeks, Bruce came over and was like, hey, like I'm like taking some kids under my wing. I just want to like help grow, especially the boys there. There's no boys. Yeah, right. My funny story is for club volleyball, we didn't have tryouts. We had 8 kids from Louisiana show up, and you were all on the team. Congrats, you made it. Like you showed up. Exactly. They recruited me. They're like, hey, we got 6 kids. We need a 7th so we can actually have a libero. Right. And but that's tells you about how big the sport is for the boys side. I mean, the girls is definitely growing a lot, and that the NCAA has helped with that. But the boys, it's still not very big. And so he's like, yeah, I want to like help you, like we want to try and like grow as much boys as we can, and like try and like get guys to be interested in this. Right. So he started working with me, and then just every night of the week, my mom like loves telling the story, like 6 nights a week. So. Monday through Friday, all the leagues. I just try and go and find pickup games on like the back courts, or if somebody needed a sub on their team, she would drop me off at like 6 and then pick me up at 11. Wow. And so I would just go and play and just try and find places to play. And then Saturday was the tournaments. And then so she just dropped me off at the tournament at like 11 a.m., 8 a.m., whatever the start time was, and then call her when the tournament's over and just repeat. And so definitely could never get enough volleyball.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, Coconut's kind of like the outrigger-ish, just the way that it's just like the center of that community. Okay. It's pretty fun because everyone just goes there. And I've gone there I've played a tournament there once a year, like really since I started playing.
Yeah, because you even came, last year?
Me and Maddie played in the monsoon against you in the finals.
So wait, why do we keep scheduling tournaments there during monsoons?
And that's a good question.
Every time there's an event, I always hear, New Orleans rains out every time.
So the problem is with New Orleans, you're either going to get 95 degrees with 100% humidity, which equates to like on court, like 125. Okay, that's brutal. Or it's pouring down rain. Right. So, and there's a reason it's 100% humidity because it's 50% chance of being a monsoon or being super hot. So you just got to roll the dice. Exactly.
Basically. Yeah. When you play in New Orleans, like it's just
if there's no lightning, you're playing. That's kind of like for like locally. Yeah. Like I mean, we probably that ball by the time that we finished that tournament. Pounds. Yeah,
because it was like our final. We were playing and
we had to cancel
the tournament. The TV, like it was supposed to be broadcast on TV, and it was raining too much for the TV
to set up like a broadcast.
And so,
because like it would have like sank in the sand.
That sounds like what's happening in Dominican right now.
Oh
with
my
Taylor
God!
And Taylor
yeah,
it's crazy.
They got fully rained out as well.
So are they playing that out? Do you know?
Somebody told me. So Bill told me today actually. They're supposed to be moving it to Aguas, with us, I think they said to finish it, they have to finish out games or something. And I was like, that's the most Norseca thing I've ever heard in my life.
We just flew to the Dominican. They could have just I don't know, wait a day.
Exactly. No, next
beach.
week we got it. Just go to another country.
Go home. We'll fly you out to another country. You don't have anything better to do.
And they just have to play one match. I think it's just one match left, right?
I'm not sure.
I think it's Taylor against Puerto Rico.
Aguas, you can't fly directly there either.
Not really.
Probably not from the Dominican. We could.
Because we went there 2 years ago. And we went...
We
had to go
City.
through Mexico City or something, right? Yeah. So it's not like just pop down to Mexico real quick. It's like a journey. Oh, it's so brutal. Sanders is like, I could be making so much money overseas right now. Instead, I get paying to do this.
Yeah.
I get to be in the pouring rain watching a threes tournament go on.
Well, at least I'm hanging out with my best friend. At least I'm hanging out with my friend.
For no points and no prize money. Yep. There's no points, no prize money in this tournament. It's just for a bid to World Champs, which is a lot of
There's
points.
no prize money?
No.
Like you don't get $100 or something?
It's
you get to go to
five free drinks. I don't know, nothing.
You get a firm hit. Good job. Good job.
Thanks for flying out.
It's just for a bid.
Thanks for not taking that contract in A1 Italy.
Dude. Oh. So funny. Norseca is just such a trip. I'm glad they're back because it's really important for guys like you to
I wouldn't have had an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be my first opportunity, but my only opportunity. Like we've been signing up for futures and like 200 points as a team isn't enough.
Right.
No.
I mean, on the women's side, thankfully it seems like they're a little bit not thinner. I would say like talent wise, they're obviously very stacked, but like there's just not as many quantity.
Volume.
Volume of teams.
Not.
Interesting.
Because Kristen Taryn got into
a challenger with 0 points.
That was huge.
And now they took a 9th, so they're gravy from here on out. Like they can get into whatever they want, except for Elite 16s. They got a little bit more work to do. But yeah, I mean that was huge for them because everyone was talking about how they would have to split up, and if things were working the way they were last year, they would have had to. There would have been no choice. But now, like. They're good, but I mean it's awesome for you and for anyone else trying to break in that you can get.
So you have no. Oh wait, you have a few points.
I have 0 right now.
Oh, you're with Bill, so Bill has a few.
Bill
points.
has points, but I don't have any.
And you haven't played yet. Okay, so you're right there. Yeah, Norseca is huge, and it's honestly a kind of a fun tour. Is it a tour though this year?
Yeah, they have like 8 or 9.
The full 8 or 10 events. Yeah,
with a similar money where it's like
it's 2,000 for first, 1,000 for second, and 500 for third.
And the points are good.
It's like 80% of the
lose
futures.
Money if you win it, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the awesome thing about Norseca is hotels provided,
meals are provided,
and the top finishing American team gets a $1,600 travel stipend.
Right. Yeah.
From the USA.
So I love you, Trav, but I'm sorry. Coming for you this week.
And what's crazy is that in Norseca's, you can't have 2 teams from the same country in the finals. And
so we would have to play each other in the semis if we played against each other,
so
right?
I've played in a final before against Nick and Theo.
I don't know. Maybe it's a new rule because I've had 2 Norsecas where they've redone the bracket where we had to play the other American team.
That makes no sense.
That's so dumb.
It's dumb.
That's ridiculous.
And we got like kind of screwed on that because Chris and KJ were supposed to play Rubio and Gacciola.
Usually the 2. Oh yeah.
And we had already beat them in pool play, so I was like, great, like we don't have to play them again. And instead, like we were supposed to play a Canadian team that we ended up beating for bronze, and then they switched it around. I was like, damn, I really want to see Jose in the finals again. And we freaking lost to Chris and KJ. Shouldn't have lost it, but yeah, it's a weird rule.
Also, if you do podium and make money, don't leave. You have to get
get the money before you leave.
You have to take it on the site, or else they won't give it to you. Like,
really?
They straight up say that.
Yep.
But they don't really say it. They don't
sounds like
hey,
the EVP.
Don't leave. Grab your money before you leave. They'll be like, yes, he's leaving. Yes.
Yeah.
Like once your foot steps off the site, they're like, sorry, you can't come back.
Me and Hayden went to the hotel, and then like someone told us or reminded us, and we stayed on the bus and came back. And they were like, "Oh, we almost got it! Like we weren't going to give it to you."
I left mine. My first Norseca, we won silver. I left my.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know, $500, $1,000, whatever it was, and I
it's all cash too.
Emailed the guy. Yeah, it's like it is the international EVP It's hilarious.
Dude, Aguas, it's like basically a big carnival / they're selling like big cows there. They're like, you're walking through and the cows, everyone's looking at the cows and trying to like figure out which one to buy.
Yeah.
It sounds like
And
something
then you
like
hit
if we win, like
your
I'm gonna
horse
go buy a
corral.
cow and eat it that night. Joey Keener just
It's
give me a good revive.
It's kind of cool though. The nightlife down there is kind of cool, but you're like playing in front of the fans, and then they give you the cash, and then they tell you to take a picture with the cash, and then they send you out into the crowd, like
Oh, good.
into the Mexican crowd.
Yeah.
Like we're just freaking like flashing all the money we have in our backpack. Like, okay, everyone, right here.
Yeah.
Throw it in your bag.
that goes a long
everyone's
way
just like
in
staring
Mexico.
at you. Yeah, exactly. But it's a good time. It's kind of a cool little city center over there, so you should enjoy it.
And it's like really high up, isn't it? I like read it like
Yeah.
6,000 feet in elevation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
A little lower than Tlaxcala was. That was like 7,200.
Okay.
But it's
Well, that's a
it's
lot.
for real.
It's a lot higher than below sea level. So
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, that's right. You're used to that, huh? It's a different kind of pressure. Yeah, the altitude gets you a little bit, but the rocks, like basically anywhere outside the lines, that'll get you even more. So good luck. 2 Norsecas I've been to where my team had the no dive rule outside the lines. We're just not chasing balls. We're not doing anything.
not worth it.
Granted, yeah. I mean, maybe we dove a few times for the final, like we wanted to win it, but
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe they cleaned it up though. We'll see. I don't want to talk it down too much.
It's an adventure though.
Yeah.
You will love it because like you have such a passion for playing volleyball tournaments
Yeah, it'll be
everywhere
perfect.
and seeing any kind of. And in Norseca, it is a must.
Yeah.
To play. And like the people are great, and there's always like a pretty fun like player party after. It's just like it's a fun tournament to play.
Yeah.
And a good start
It'll
to
be a
your
good pin on your. You probably have the most pins of like all the random tournaments you've played in over the
Yeah.
years. You know,
Yeah.
it would be a good little pin on your.
Stafford texted me after me and Tim qualified, and he was like, "Someone needs to take my Norseca crown." Stafford played in like 19 of these things.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's why he
I hope
retired.
I'm not getting up there.
That's why he's
buddy.
retired.
Goes on BVB info right after. How many have I played? I can't pass you up, man.
You don't want to take that crown.
No. But how are things going with Slick Willie?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me so far, it's been just a lot of learning, and I mean, there's just I don't know. He's probably like if I had to choose one person from like the blocker side, as like pure blocker, like probably one of the best people to learn from. Like I'd say he's like on his way. It's like being like the Hayden equivalent of like a blocker because he's
Yeah.
just like so technical, you know what I mean? So strict with everything that he does in like his diet and his regiment, and
Yeah.
he's just like super professional about everything, and just like very knowledgeable about like being a professional.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like most people in our sport aren't super that way.
Right.
So it's been good to learn and just like just trying to absorb as much as I can because I mean, not only is it him, it's him, Evie, and Mikkel. Because I mean, it's like 3 people with just so much more information, so many more years of volleyball. Like if you can not even combine, I think like just like straight up take like how long Mikkel's been training Hayden. It's
Yeah.
been longer than I've been alive. Like, and then like Evie has like been playing like professionally and coaching like
Yeah,
longer
yeah.
than I've been alive.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of years of volleyball experience and things that I mean it's when they tell you it's like, oh yeah, this is so simple, but like at the same time you're 24 years old and like it doesn't come simply to your mind all the time.
Yeah.
So it's good to kind of have those people there every day, like keeping you accountable for all of your actions.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Yeah, and Evie's awesome. We've
Yeah.
all worked with Evie a little bit. I mean, I think he probably had the biggest impact on my blocking, and then Tri. I mean, that was like he was your first coach, right?
Yeah.
Out with
Yeah,
John.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Well, that's my team basically.
yeah,
Mikkel, Evie, and then Hayden and Kolinske. And I was 23, 24 too at that
Yeah.
time. So yeah, I mean, with like everyone's gonna have different talent levels and whatnot. But if you do the stuff that Mikkel says for sure. Emulate what Bill does because Bill maximizes his
Exactly.
potential a lot. And then Evie, yeah, I mean, that guy's like freaking knows the game so well.
My favorite is Mikel right now. He's because I mean, like obviously they're good friends, know each other pretty well, and I mean, I'm still pretty new to defense. He's like, this dude's trying to teach you calculus, and you only get like algebra, bro. Like, tell Evie to stop teaching you calculus and go back to like Algebra 1, and then we can work our way up from there. But we don't need to start at calculus because you don't know anything else. You got 4 more years of all of this math to figure out before you can start talking with Evie on his level.
Yep, that's funny. Because and Mikel knows because I was 24 in the gym listening to Evie and Hayden and just being like, what the fuck?
Like the first 2 weeks, you're just like, what?
Yeah.
What just happened?
Right.
How is the switch to defense going? We got 2 guys making the switch in here.
It's been great. You know, I felt like all my life, like I was a blocker. Like in Louisiana, there's not much height, and the Gulf Coast in general.
Right.
Like I was by far like me, or whenever you were there, like there wasn't many blockers.
No.
So like we would be able to pick up good partners because they're like, oh yeah, we just need somebody to jump up there.
Yeah. That's it.
And that's kind of all the role I was ever in. And like until what was it? September of 2020 was the first time I ever had a practice playing defense.
Really?
Yeah. And I have to like thank Joey for that, Joey Keener, because there was times where he like people were like, people still say it, and they're like, why did you like make the switch? Like you're a good blocker, and I was like, because I have a higher ceiling as a defender.
Yeah.
And I mean, most people can say what they want, but I've already taken a 9th as a defender, playing defense for 1 year, and that's higher than most people can say that they've ever done.
Yeah.
So most people that are saying why you're doing that are the people who
and
haven't taken 9th. And so that's the I mean, it's like frustrating to me, but like Joey, like every day was still like, you know what? Like, no, you have the traits for this, and we're going to keep like molding this because like as a defender, if I get a dig, or like the same thing with you, you know what I mean? Like we're so terminal as attackers that like we don't need to get the like Eric Brannick amount of digs because we're going to convert on a higher percentage because we can get a bad set and still hit from like 8 feet off and still get a kill.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. Plus we have that length can make up for your reaction speed being, you know, if we're only a step or 2 away, it's like, yeah, you read it better, but we just laid down and got it. Because our arms are way longer, you know?
We're just like, oh no.
The Casey Patterson fall down from the seam.
It didn't look pretty, but we got
you know, it got up. It got up, and then you know what, the swing will look a lot better.
Just throw the set somewhere near the net, and we'll come barreling in there. How tall are you?
6'4", 6'3", 6'4", yeah.
Okay, just under me.
Yeah. What made you want to, like, when did that start to get in your head? Because you were a good blocker, and you had a ton of success as a blocker. I mean, you won a shit ton of tournaments in the Southeast and everything.
Yeah, and I mean, I even felt like I got to a point where I was, and my goal, and this is like a thing in my head that I started doing, like I graduated during COVID. And so like during the COVID year, my goal was to break into the top 50 players in the country points wise.
Yeah.
And I mean, I knew I was going to have to do it as a blocker. And I just kind of like climbed the ladder partner wise and just like kept getting better partners, like keep getting increase in points. And I felt like I reached a point, there was a couple of the AVPNext Golds where I was like, you know, I have a really good defender with me right now. But I'm playing some of these teams where it's like end of the day and like, yeah, I jump really high, but after you jump really high a certain amount of times in a day, you just don't anymore. it's like, okay. And so like, I mean, like, no matter what, like it's going to get to, like, for me, it was like, I'm going to get to a point where like physically, like I can do it if it's like, okay, 1 match during the day. Yeah. But like it's match 4 or 5 in the AVPNext Gold.
Yeah.
And I was like, I physically can't compete the way that I need to compete in order to break through to that next level.
Okay.
And I mean, more of it was Joey. Joey was the one who's like, you're not going to be a blocker anymore. He straight up like told me, he's just like, you're not going to block anymore. And I was like, okay, whatever you say. And then I played 1 tournament with Logan. That was the first time I played, I guess second time I played defense in a tournament. Actually, my first tournament.
Bicko?
First tournament was with Bicko when we beat Logan and Timmy in a Louisiana tournament.
This is all in the last year?
This is all in 2020. At the end of so August of 2020, we played Logan and Timmy at a tournament in New Orleans, and then I finally convinced Logan after that, because I've been asking him all year. I was like, hey, let's run a tournament. Hey, let's run a tournament. Because, I mean, who wouldn't want to play with Logan right now? One of the top up-and-coming talents. And then in September, he's like, there's a smaller tournament in Cleveland, Ohio. And he's like, yeah, let's just do it. And so that was
that's just the perfect example of you and Logan. Yeah, I found a tournament in Cleveland. Both of you guys, like, no question that you two would play.
It's like the opposite of me and Trevor right now. Challenger?
Oh, man.
Brazil.
It's in San Diego.
Why
it's
the
like
hell are you out there? Well, I mean, I don't know.
You're telling me it's in Manhattan? That's like not even in Hermosa? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. We're down in Hermosa.
I had to drive
My
20
e-bike's not, the electric's not working, so I don't really want to pedal.
Yeah, but that's just kind of how it started. And then, I mean, I didn't play with anybody else in 2021. I mean, me and Logan just had such a successful year that it kind of just thrust it into the spotlight. And I was like, all right, this is how it is now.
Yeah. I feel like you and Logan did what everyone expected Kristen and Taryn to do. Like, separate, grab your guys with points, you're in the main draw, and at some point, like, the stars will probably align again. Was that like a weird split, or did both of you kind of see, like, you know what, I'm going to have to go with Hayden because he's John Hayden, has points, I'm going to be main draw, and you're like, well, yeah, I can get in main draw too. I feel like it kind of worked out very well. I
mean, it ended up working out well in the end. At first, I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? I was like, there's a lot more blockers, or there's a lot more defenders out there than there are blockers, and I just lost mine. But, because, I mean, he was about to move to New Orleans. He was like, had literally like his car was packed, was like moving in like 2 weeks, and like had a spot and everything. He was gonna move in with Ian Bicko.
Okay.
And then he's like, actually, my sponsor had a sponsor or something. He's helping me out. I'm gonna move from California. And then I like kind of like saw like there's okay.
Off.
Everything keeps going off a little bit, and then just a little bit more, and then there was just like, and like the dominoes kept falling piece by piece, and like every time I was like, so we're still good to play this year, right? We're still good to play this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep. And then like one day I just got the text and I was like, hey, Hayden asked me to play. I'm playing with him. I was like, God, why? Because I mean, like I kind of like saw like point situations, and I'm pretty good at like I'm really good with math and figuring all of that out. And I was like, well, I guess I got to figure this out. And that's when I decided, I mean, I came out here for 3 weeks in January.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to find my partner. And I wrote down a list. I was like, all right, if I play with these people, I'll get into the main. And so texted like 3 people like, hey, let's set up a practice.
Yeah.
And then it ended up just being that Bill was the second practice. You were whenever I practiced with you against Chase and Troy.
Yeah, Chase and Troy.
Yeah, literally that was my first day in. And then the next day I practiced with Bill. And it was just me, Bill, and Evie. And then right after that practice, Bill and Evie texted me and they were like, so are you interested in this year? And I was like, well, this was a useless 3-week trip. I'm already good. I'm set. This is way better than I ever thought it could be. And he was like the top guy I actually had on the list because like as far as like combination of international and AVP points, like there wasn't anybody else that could really top what he was doing. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, actually, there was a period there for a second. I was like, okay, if I really need to again, I might go block again. It's like just so I can get in.
It's good to have that skill set
for sure. Well, you never know with like there's like injury situations where your guy's out for a week or two, and you just have to scramble to. It's nice to know like you can pick up a blocker or a defender. Like that can be extremely helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was my for 2020. I was like convinced. I was so upset I didn't get to play in it because I didn't have the points. Was the King of the Beach because I had it set. I played with Timmy a good bit.
Yeah.
So I played left side, and then I blocked most of the time. So I could block, play left side and right side, and then I had just started playing defense and like started to understand that. And I was like, I'm there versatility wise. Like I want to go and I want to play, and then I mean, unfortunately, didn't have the points at the time to get into that King of the Beach. But I was like, that would have been my forte. I was like, I was so hyped to try and get into it.
Yeah. I would have volunteered my COVID spot for you, but Caleb Queckel took that one.
They're like, yeah, you can drive down to Florida and possibly be in, but you have to pay for your own hotel, and you're not guaranteed a spot. And I was like, this doesn't really work out in beach volleyball player world because we don't have the money for that.
And you're out here now, though, right?
Yeah.
You officially made the move. Mm-hmm. Sweet. When did you make that move? Officially.
Mardi Gras Day.
Mardi Gras Day. Okay, it had to have been a
celebration.
Drive, fly.
Okay,
I was say that would have been a hungover long drive. A long drive.
Yeah, no. I knew what I was doing.
Savvy saw her first Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
That had been fun.
Go.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it was my first one in 5 years because, 4 years of college, and indoor was always during Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
It's the same season. And then the first time I could have gone back for 2021, they canceled it because of COVID still.
Man.
And
people probably rioted canceling Mardi Gras down there.
Yeah. It was bad.
I bet.
It was bad.
Is that like parades and stuff down Bourbon Street and just...
It's like the whole city.
It's
like the whole city shut down. Like,
so where do you go? You just go to bars or do you go to Bourbon Street?
So there's straight up like a 6 mile long parade route.
Oh wow.
And there's just hundreds of thousands of people lined up on the streets. Just drinking, having fun. Like there's 12-year-olds on the street drinking beers in front of cops, and the cops are dancing in the streets with the 12-year-olds. And it's just the most magnificent time because everybody's just celebrating, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's so hard to find that in today's day and age where it's just you know what? I don't care what you think about politics. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're gay, straight, whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody's you know what? We're all going to go have a good time together. And so it's for me, it's so cool because it's okay, we have just this cultural mismatch of whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's great.
And people just want to go out, have fun, and celebrate life. Wish we could have more of that.
I need to put that one on the bucket list.
Dude, Mardi Gras is fun.
It's like America's Carnival.
Yeah.
Basically.
It is.
Pretty much.
It's the same time of the year, too, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Because it's celebrating the same thing, I think.
My first, the first time I ever went to New Orleans actually was when the Saints won the Super Bowl.
Oh, baby.
Because the girl I was dating in college at the time, she lived in New Orleans. And
Bounty Gate.
I went and visited her, and so it was the Super Bowl, and then right on the heels of that was Mardi Gras, and that place was bonkers.
Wild.
Superdome's the loudest place I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It's the loudest NFL stadium, right?
For sure.
Maybe they said Chiefs recently, was one of the more
Chiefs
loud
might have
ones?
just broke it, but I think probably
It's always kind of been Superdome,
consistently, though.
Yeah.
If you want to, there's it's funny because
you guys are indoors, so you'd think that'd be way louder.
Yeah, but there's actually a quote from Brett.
Oh, yeah?
And it's on the walls of the Superdome of it's a hype thing for the fans to read when they're getting into their seats.
Because he won his Super Bowl there too, right? When he won with the Packers.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But it's this quote from that Vikings game, and he talks about how it was 60 minutes of hell because of how loud it was. There was
and the late hits. Come on.
there was he also had to get a special earpiece put in
right.
because it was so loud that he couldn't hear the plays, and they had to come up with different ways to call plays and stuff because of how loud the dome is. And the coolest one for me, it was 2006, and it was the first game back in the dome, and I had season tickets at the time. My family had season tickets, and it's the Steve Gleason punt. When he blocks the punt, it's against the Falcons, who's our rival.
Okay.
And and so it's just people are super emotional because it's the first time back from Katrina.
Right.
And everybody's super sad, whatever, you know what I mean? Just emotional.
Right.
And then we get this big blocked punt against the Falcons, who were the biggest rival. And then it was just so cool because you couldn't hear anything.
It's just white noise.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's just it's so loud and then it was just you could feel the entire city just be we're back.
Right.
You know what? Katrina's over. We're rebuilding. It's finally we're back and better than ever.
Yeah.
And it was super cool.
That's that's just a cool thing about sports in general. Having moments like that.
Yeah. It's like David Ortiz after the Boston Bomber.
Oh,
when
yeah.
he came out and he was like, "This is our fucking city," and the place went nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like Boston just sort of like moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sports just like have that ability. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Love
It's
it.
a little more rare in beach volleyball, but we've had some good moments as well. Back in the day, I feel like when Geeter was on the mic, he got them going pretty damn good. But World Champs Hamburg a few years ago was like where I like got pulled out of the game. I was like, holy shit! Like I can't talk to Trevor right now. It's so loud.
Yeah. Did
13,000.
you play in the World Champs in Vienna?
No, I was out.
Because that looked. Oh man, that's right. Because that place looked crazy.
That was massive. But Hamburg was like a little more indoors. You know, they had the roof closed.
Yeah.
And it was a tennis stadium, so it was like.
The place where I feel like you can actually feel it the most in America is actually at like these grassroots tournaments.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like Fuds and like
Really?
Seaside and like I mean there's times at Fuds like the first time that we won, me and JD won with Joey and then Luca.
I love that I ran into Luca in Italy last year.
I'm hoping one day I get to see Luca in Italy.
For sure.
But it was like because I mean we were like the local kids and like that was like right when like Judd started bringing in like all the big dogs and stuff like that, and it was like people were like, well, all these like out of towners and the California guys are coming in and winning our tournament, and like then like me and like JD won, and like everybody just went absolutely insane. Like and like it's like super cool because I mean that and then like Seaside, that one was incredible as well.
I think the Fuds finals and Seaside finals are the biggest crowds I've played in front of, and that rivals. I played Chase and Troy on center court in Hermosa Beach, and it was like pretty decently full stadium, and Fuds and Seaside were, were bigger.
the AVP. That's right.
Fuds can get. I mean, the one that we won, I think was the biggest by volume of teams, and then like the final, the semifinals was really where it was like.
That was epic. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that was like, I mean, we played against Rosie and D. Lee, Jeff Samuels, Ed Ratledge.
Satterfield.
Yeah. And like, I mean, like everybody just wanted to go and watch that game because it's like, all right, because Travis, I mean, still considered a local there. Like, I mean, he's close enough. Like, Navarre was 20 minutes from Fort Walton. And so, like, they're like, our local guys going up against the Olympians. And like, we're gonna take them down, and like and like I mean like very like the crowd at Fuds is not usually pro any team, like but they were 100% pro us like in that game. Like they're like booing like Rosie and stuff, and then like I was like, when have you ever been in a stadium where Rosie's getting booed? The Southeast, that's where.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's how it should be, though. No, I mean, Rosie could not be happier, you know, when a crowd is actually making noise for someone, even if it's not him.
Yeah.
I mean, he freaking traveled around with the Raiders for half his career, you know?
True.
No, those are great. I love those smaller events that, like, just have, like, the passion. And, I mean, there's certain AVPs where the fans are there, but they're not. More so international. AVPs.
Yeah.
Wapaka too. Wow, Wapaka last year was insane.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
The grass, right?
And we put the beach too. Yeah, because we played the Baumgrens in the finals, and I mean that's like
they love
best thing since sliced bread. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Is Baumgrens volleyball.
Yeah, right.
And I mean super loud for them, and I mean like the same thing. Just having that kind of atmosphere of volleyball, even if it's not for you, is so cool.
It's so fun, and having the fans close too. Like back in the day, the 6-man out here. Those are some of my best beach volleyball memories.
They have to like pull up ropes, like, hey, you can't pass this.
No,
like,
well, 6-man was.
Well, 6-man's even crazier because you've seen pictures.
The fans just can't be on the court.
Yeah, it's literally like they're on the line.
You're like crawling through them
and like crazies, like
diving. Catch me! But I mean, those are the best. I mean, just good vibes, and usually you're a little more relaxed. Like you want to win it so bad, but you're also willing to like engage with the fans, and like whereas in a big world championship or something, you're like, yeah, no, I'm gonna stay focused and conserve my energy and be.
You can't even really engage with the fan because at that point, like they're so
They're too
far
far away,
away.
yeah.
It's like okay, like
you can't like pick one guy over there like, hey,
like yeah,
you. Yeah, exactly. No, it's a good.
hey guy,
good
fifth row.
Me and you, we're gonna go back and forth this match.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what I love. Like they have like this old school charm to them. Like all the grassroots tournaments, like the Wapakas, the Seasides, like all the AVPnext Golds that are now turning into Tour Series events.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see what they look like as Tour Series events under a more professional umbrella.
Yeah.
Although I do think it's still AVP America that's promoting them and hosting them. So I think they'll keep that kind of like local,
Somewhat local,
charm
yeah.
vibe. Yeah.
I think the only issue with like the Tour Series ones is going to be, it's just going to be tough because I feel like it's going to be more of like a professional event. You know what I mean? Whereas like you don't get that local team that's like the 60 seed. And then like Seaside, Logan was telling me the year before that he went, there was these two kids from literally they let their high school out to go watch this game against Logan and Rafi.
I love it.
And they pushed Logan and Rafi like 17, 15, and 3. But like their whole high school was out cheering, you're not gonna get the 60 seed underdog anymore, which kind of, I mean, takes away. I feel like it takes away from that local, we got our local guy in there, which is kind of hard.
You guys played the local heroes your first round, which actually, can you just like tell your whole Seaside experience? Try this is like.
They should give local wild card. Like
I thought you were talking about local. The first one was.
Me and Delaney were just talking about that because. Someone from Texas, LJ Luciano.
You can't give too many wild card, like give spots away for AVPnext and then a local.
But the biggest problem is that internationally you have the local promoters. You have like Volleyball Australia. We'll put our guys, but there's no local promoters like organizations. Because should a Texas team be in Austin? I think so because they have a great local fan base and Steve and Pete are very legit AVP quality.
But I think the problem is if you go to Seattle
or like Muskegon, who are we gonna find?
We don't have to put one in.
Yeah, but it is a good option.
Maybe maybe there should be like a stipulation like, hey, if you're ranked above this, you get the wild card if it's in
that's a good idea.
within a certain radius of your home or something like that.
And then how do you determine,
I feel like there had to be very specific rules like, okay, if it's not this, then it doesn't work.
Okay. Like you have to live.
You have to be within a certain mile radius of the event. You have to be in a certain amount of the points, and then that's like 2 stipulations. I guess.
Or you just decide and be like, hey, apparently everyone loves these guys in this town. We're letting them in. And that's why. Period.
That works too.
You know what? We're gonna get people's asses in the seats because of these guys that we're in.
Yeah, I mean that's what.
They're gonna be the 16 seed. You put them as the last match of the first round against the 1 seed. Yep. And then, that's packing your Friday.
Yeah, they get to watch the best. They get to watch their team and the best team at the same time.
Yeah,
and they're going to be cheering really, really hard for it, which is awesome.
And maybe you get a Cinderella story.
And the Texas fans, they'll be
rowdy.
I'm excited
for New Orleans because I don't think people are ready for the New Orleans fan base.
God, I hope we can go. I'd love to just go get.
I thought you were going to talk about the local story. Our first local story was whenever we won New Orleans. I thought that's when you were going to talk about, not Seaside, because that one. It was hilarious to me because at that point, I wasn't a top seed in those smaller events.
You guys were around the 9-10.
Yeah, and so we end up.
And this is just for context. This is the AVPnext Gold New Orleans, the first AVPnext Gold of the season last year. Mm-hmm. That was me, Jake McNeil, and Will Hoey were taking bets. We drafted teams in Sofia, Bulgaria, and we were watching along. And so you were the 9 or 10 seed. Mm-hmm. And off you went.
Yeah, and it was just funny because the whole time, Rob Bruce, big beard, from Coconut.
Love Rob.
And he tells the guys, and it's the same thing where you're you know what, you got to get these guys in. You got to get these guys in.
Yeah.
And so he's they built this stadium court that was pretty sick. For an AVPnext Gold, they had a VIP bleachers and they had probably a 500 capacity stands with open ends on the back. So there was probably close to 800 to 1,000 people watching the final.
Yeah.
And so he's telling the people running, I think it's John King or whatever. And he's like, you got to get him on center. You got to get these guys on center. They're going to draw a crowd.
Yeah.
You got to get these guys on center. It's our local guy. Got to get him on center. And so it gets down to the semifinals, and you have a main draw matchup as of last year. It was Troy and Eric versus Piotr and Rafu. And they're playing on stadium court, and then we're playing a court. It backs into so this is stadium court, and it like backs into another court.
Right.
And so stadium court is almost overflowing people back into it. And like crowded around our court, watching our court, and they're like, we don't care about these main draw guys. We want to watch the local guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I think just adds to the point, right?
It's totally worthy.
And you guys won. How many matches did you have to play day 2? 6 matches?
5.
Day 2? 5 matches.
5
day
matches
2?
day 2.
Dude, these AVPnext they're heavy workloads.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
And then Panama City played probably 4.
I played 4 the second day, and we lost in the semis.
Yeah. You guys, Marty and...
We lost to Marty
and
Caleb in 17-15 in the third.
Okay. They'll be a good team. It's good to see Marty having fun playing volleyball again. Yeah, he's like the AVP cockroach. Like, as soon as you think he's dead, he's back, and he's playing such good volleyball. I
can't wait to see that guy again.
I think I'm kind of upset because I partially was like part of the reason. I was like texting him. I was like, yeah, like the end of last year. I was like, yeah, let's play some tournaments, blah blah blah. And so like we played like 1 or 2, I think. And I was like, dang, Marty's like, yeah, I'm good now. Yeah. And he's like, I'm good to go back. And
now I got to deal with Marty.
Shouldn't have done that.
But now, how's your AVP points looking at this point? You're with Kolinske.
We are the 8 seed.
8? Yeah. So you're main draw guy now.
Yeah.
And how many did you get in last year, main draw?
2 out of 3. So
And that was your first 2 main draws?
Yeah. So hopefully it continues to go this way, but I'll never have had to qualify because I've only done I've gone like the wild card AVPnext Gold route,
which like
and there's no qualifiers.
They're way harder than qualifiers
because you're playing
1,000%.
Because you're playing like 3 teams in the final round of a qualifier in the whole tournament,
and you have to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, me and A-Rob, we played you guys, and the cool thing about those tournaments is that a lot of times you get a second life. Like in Seaside, it's double limb.
Yeah, that one was great. But I mean, most of them it's single limb. Like if you're
like you're done.
Modified pool play, you're out.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys had to win. I don't know, probably 8 matches in Seaside.
Yeah, and I mean that was on top of we lost in the qualifier in Atlanta.
Okay.
We lost in the round to get in. I think that's the one match I still have to take back to this day because we're up 19-16 in the second set after winning the first. And
I didn't know that.
I got like that, like you're like looking ahead just a little too much. I'm like, all right, we're in the main draw, let's go. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we're not in the main draw and we are like on our way to the airport. We lost to Avery and Miles and Miles Partain in 3. And we're like, all right, we got to go to the airport because we signed up for Seaside, which started the next day. It was as a Friday, Saturday tournament, which I was like, of course, like, why does it have to be back to back? Right. But like Friday, Saturday, we travel Thursday night. I end up getting delayed in Atlanta to the point where I missed my connection in Phoenix to Portland. Oh. So I get into Phoenix at, I want to say like 1 a.m. And then I have to get on a flight. I figured it out on the flight. Because we were delayed, then they were like, all right, we're going to hold the plane for you. And then like we held, like, you know how sometimes you're on the runway and you just don't take off for like 30 minutes? Yeah. And then that happened. And I was like, shit. Like I just in my head, I was like, I know I'm not making my connection now.
For sure.
And so like I buy the $8 Wi-Fi on Southwest and I'm like looking up and seeing if I'm going to make my connection. I see that I'm not. And then Logan was on a different flight. And so he made it in at like 2 a.m. to Portland. And I was like, well, I can't just leave Logan there and not have a partner now. Like I got to figure out a way to get there. So then I'm on the flight and I'm like, well, I'm already on my way here. I already bought a flight. Like I might as well just drop another $300 on a flight on Alaska Airlines up to Portland. So I leave at I get in at 1 a.m. I have to wake up at like 3 a.m. To get up to go to the airport for a 5 a.m. flight. We fly up, we get into Portland, and then I think I get in at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Our first match is at 11 or 12. I can't remember.
Oh, God.
But basically, it's an hour and a half drive from Portland to Seaside.
So you showed up at.
So we parked the car, like threw our bags on our back, and then we walked on the court. 10 minutes start.
Oh my God.
And we end up playing
Against a
freaking
really good team. Tanner
I was
Woods
gonna say
and
Tanner
Evan
Woods and
Enriquez,
Evan Enriquez,
like
who I
two
mean,
good Division I college volleyball players.
Hawaii,
Evan's
one of them.
libero at Stanford, maybe.
He's from Hawaii, yeah?
Yeah. And then they end up losing, against us, which is the round of 32.
Yeah, brutal.
And they still, they had to play like 8 matches on Friday, and they make it all the way back. I think they end up taking 5th.
Yeah.
But like they were just on this tear, destroying teams. And I was like, of course, this is the team that we end up playing first. Like,
Yeah.
Tanner's like bombing jump serves. I'm like 2 hours of sleep. I'm like, I can't even I'm not even awake right now. And this dude's about to like hit me in the chest with a serve. But we end up pulling that out. We make it to Saturday. Thankfully, we lost to Trav in the winners quarters. But I was like, you know what? I just made it to Saturday. I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I want to get some good food, and then I'll worry about Saturday when it gets there. And then we end up seeing him again in the finals, and we ended up beating him in the finals. But that's how we got our bid to Chicago.
Oh, that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was well worth it. It was earned. It was earned.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
So when you say like I've never had to qualify, I'm like, let's take a quick timeout on that. You've earned your qualifications.
Dang. Yeah, well, hopefully it's easy sailing now, main draws.
Yeah, that's the
staying there.
plan.
How is the overlap with the point system, the tour versus pro point system?
Oh,
Like, how many
man,
people are going to be falling off the bat?
It's going to be way different than it used to be. Because like winning the AVPnext Gold is like the equivalent of taking a 5th in a pro series.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wait, AVPnext Golds,
So-
5th. And
So like all
okay.
3 of that we won. Like whenever we won
So you got,
3,
like, 5th of 5th,
we had
basically.
3 5th place finishes in a main draw
Whoa.
by points.
Yeah.
And then if you win a
Jeez.
tour series, of the 50K ones, it's the equivalent of a 3rd.
Okay. So the tour series, I get that, like that, because there's a real AVP tournaments now.
But like it's the equivalent of like a 3rd. That's
yeah,
like
but a third of a fully.
like if like a
Fully
team that's
stacked event?
anywhere like we're probably even close on that range. Like I would say if you're top 6, you're good.
Yeah.
But like anywhere 8 to 12, like I'm going to the tours and like I'm trying to get those 3rd place points
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
because they don't count against you.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like why wouldn't I?
Totally.
I think the reason for the point system, I don't think that the AVPnext Gold should count that high. They're good tournaments, but
it's no.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think it should be equivalent like a 9th at most.
Yeah, 9th or 13th. But
I think
5th's
9th because
crazy.
it gives you a little bit more variance, and you do have times, or pretty much every one that we've played in there's been a main draw team there.
Yeah, for
you know what I
sure.
mean? So if you're beating a main draw team, I'll give you a 9th. Like,
Yeah.
I think at most though it's worth a 9th.
Yeah, agreed there. But I think with the tour series, I get it because they're trying to incentivize people to play all the events and keep the tour series quality. So
Right.
I get that they would at least try to start.
If a pro
with
series team has a bad event, like 2 in a row,
You can be out.
you're like straight up.
Yeah. Welcome back to
Gone.
AVPnext.
AVPnext. I mean, any team. That's not excluding
I was gonna say
anyone.
Yeah.
You could have a top 5 team. Just freaking.
it's at least 4 out of
Yeah.
6 though. It's
Out of
not
the main
F5EB now 3 out of 4.
Oh, yeah.
That's brutal.
Oh yeah.
Like you can be straight up
true.
Elite 16 to like freaking almost
Oh,
like
it's 4 out of 6. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the AVP is now just your best out of a window. It's not your
Oh,
finishes
really?
don't no longer push finishes out. You just have a window. It's like play all the events you want. Nothing hurts you.
I'm still
me
using,
and Logan are in the best position to do anything. Then
Oh, yeah.
play all of them.
Yeah, really.
If the point system was just a straight up aggregate, like who has the most volume of points, you and Logan would be like the top dogs. In the
Oh
world.
yeah, we looked.
Oh yeah. We're number 1.
Yeah.
We looked in like us individually, like because like during COVID, like they kept 2020 and 2021 all together.
Yeah.
So it was like 2 years of events, not just one. And we were like, if we just had our own points and nobody else, we would be the 1 seed in almost every single tournament in the country.
No partner needed.
No partner.
That's crazy.
They used to do that. Remember, like how Samoilovs and them were World Tour champion,
Right.
points champions for their
Yeah.
sponsors.
because it was just total points.
Yeah,
and
like
they just
who has
played
the most points.
they played the most
And
events
they calculated it, and then they
good-
went to their sponsors after and like, we get our bonuses. We're number one in the world. But they weren't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a smart
on the
move by
other
them.
rankings, they're very smart.
Them
Yeah.
and I think Cantor and Losiak did the same thing. They just played
Maybe pull
everything.
that one. Pull that out. I don't know if there is a ranking for that, but maybe you make one.
We have the that like the AVP America Grand Prix. You show them that, be like number one.
Yeah.
What sponsors do you have now?
So Zinka, I've got that. Cory, Seeger, so Seeger Sandbar,
Okay.
White Sands, and Republic. It's a bar.
The
as
baseball
well.
player? Wait, you
No,
said Corey Seager?
so he's a guy from
Okay.
he's from Louisiana, but he owns a bar. His name's Cory Seeger.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But no,
I was like, oh, maybe that's where he's from. Sweet. Just like owns bars down there.
but Cory, and he has another partner that owns a bar downtown, and so
Okay.
them. Wow, I'm blanking.
Slunks? Just
Yeah,
repping
kind of. I
them.
was gonna say rep stuff.
Repping them,
Yeah. But I just kind of got a sweet deal. It was more like it's with a clothing brand, but they're like, you don't have to wear any of our clothes. We just want you to like create awareness for our brand, and like basically they're one of like so like Smack does a lot of club volleyball uniforms.
Yeah.
They're basically Smack, but like in the Midwest.
Okay.
And so it's called Frisco Mo, and she's like, yeah, like you played against my son in college, and he's like, he thinks you'd be a great ambassador for like trying to help me like build this and like trying to branch out of Wisconsin, and basically we're gonna figure out how to do this together, and just I want you to represent my brand well, and
That's pretty sweet.
I don't care if you post about me on social media or anything. It's just more, she's like, I want to, one, help you out, and then two, like, she wants to create like a network of athletes like in beach volleyball or indoor volleyball that like are able to get like another source of income basically through her.
Very cool.
And so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then Hustle and Flow Volleyball, which is in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
I don't know if you know John Brady, but he plays a lot of grass.
Okay.
And so whenever I had my few minutes of fame in the grass for like 3 tournaments, he met me and was like, "Hey, love to sponsor you." And then actually, it's the last one is a sandbox volleyball in Cleveland.
Okay.
And I got that sponsorship because of that tournament I played
Love
with
it.
Logan. So that random tournament we went to in Ohio ended up paying off because he's like, I love just watching you play volleyball, and like I want you to like rep our brand because I love the way you play, and I like want you to like come in and help run clinics and
Sick.
stuff like that. And yeah,
It's awesome. That's a long list for your first year in main draw. Well done.
Good stuff.
and we're hopefully add a couple more things. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, we talk a lot about how, you need to be sort of a product and start doing, being an entertainer and just like doing other things other than just playing, and you're doing it.
There's
Yeah, I'm doing my best.
long-time main draw players that don't have any sponsors.
Yeah.
Just don't put themselves out there and go and get it. So
Yeah, I think the thing that most people like find issue with is like the part of like one, social media. I think most people don't understand how to use social media,
Right.
and like how to use it effectively.
Right.
And I mean I don't fully still know how to do it, but like to me it's like a simple concept of like, you know what, like you've got these people that are supporting you, like blast them out there. And like, you know what, let's just go create, like I mean like go film your match and then go post a highlight.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
like it's not super difficult, and and guess what? Then you're watching film, so you're getting better because you're reviewing yourself.
Right, yeah.
So that's what I would do. Like I'd play in my tournament, and I'd have all of my stuff on my phone, and on my flight back, I would just watch on the flights, and that's all. And that's how I would like kind of build
Pull
it.
a
That's how I
highlight
built
out.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I built up like the social media part of things, and like people genuinely like if you're not a professional athlete and like professional athletes, so like one, being personal I think goes a long way.
Right.
Like people genuinely appreciate that, and like I mean I like my thing is like going on like these like volleyball vacations and stuff, and it's like getting to meet other people, and like they one share the passion like for volleyball, but
Yep.
two, like you get to meet a lot of cool people and find out a lot of cool stories about people's lives and just like stuff that you don't know about because like they're like great at something else, and like you don't get to experience that sphere, but they can like explain like their life and stuff to you, which I think is really cool.
For sure.
And like creating that personal connection, and then people just like for some reason, like if they feel like they're involved and like they know where you've been, and like it's like the easiest conversation starter, and like people love to follow that.
Totally.
So like people are just like, oh, I saw you were here. That's awesome. I love like seeing, and like, you know what I mean? And then you could create a network. Then at some point you're like, hey, I'm going to be here at a certain point. Like, anybody live here? And then like you create that connection and create a fan base. Which
Sell
is really
some
cool.
merch or something, and you know that those fans will probably be on board with it.
Yeah.
Real fans, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what you're looking for the most part.
Yeah. One real fan's better than, 30 fake Instagram followers or whatever.
What's that rule? It's the Tim Ferriss 1,000 true fans. Or if you have 1,000 true fans, that's all you really need. Because then if you put out a piece of merch or whatever, like your 1,000 true fans, like we'll buy your shirt or your coffee mug or
and then
whatever.
I give a lot of credit to Louisiana volleyball as a whole. We're a crazy, like I think just in general, like Louisiana, if they're gonna get behind a sport, they're gonna go all out for you.
Yeah.
And so that's been like it's a huge like help, because it's like been a huge support base already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like once the second that I started traveling for stuff, everybody just like clung to it. So I'd go back to Coconut Beach during the week, and then like you're out there and like people are playing leagues, and they're like, I saw you were here, and like they just love to talk about it. And that was the easiest fan base to get, because I mean like it was just right there at home, and they knew me from growing up playing with them.
AVP New Orleans this year, assuming the 4 or 5 teams might be gone, you might be a top 3 seed.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a solid little fan base
It's,
right there.
Yeah.
You'll be
I'm
there.
excited for
Kristen
it.
and Taryn will be there. Tony and Sav will
Hopefully.
be pretty close.
They'll have to qualify.
So
Because Austin points won't count for New Orleans. Because
bummer.
Also, by the way, if you want to decide to sign up for AVP or not, it's this week. I think it's like this
New Orleans?
Friday, or maybe next
is it?
Tuesday. Next Tuesday, that's when it is.
Next Tuesday.
So
gotcha.
April 26th.
I always wait for them to send me that last second reminder.
You're like, okay.
Oh god.
The Austin entry list
If you
was
stop
so
sending
funny.
these emails,
Because it was like no top
There's like
teams.
4 teams signed up. I was like, isn't
then, like-
tonight the deadline? And then it was just like 50 teams.
I was gonna say, and then there's like the guys who are like, wait, are they really not gonna go? We're gonna sign up. And so then there's gonna be like 30 teams, and like the team that was like the 4 seed at the beginning of the day is now the 30
so
seed.
funny.
Plus, I think they've done a few times where a team didn't sign up in time and they
Snuck one in.
Yeah.
slap on the wrist.
Don't do that one again.
You're making us look bad. But yes, we want you to play.
Yeah. It's cool to see, like, there's the big 4 from Louisiana right now. I mean, you got you, Kristen Taryn, and Tony. I mean, Kristen Taryn and Tony won the first 3 international medals out of LSU ever in the same weekend. Because Kristen Taryn won gold in Australia, and then Tony won bronze.
Yeah.
And then Tony and Sav go out and qualify. It's that
That's
area's
huge for
coming
them.
up, man.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
So, and Savvy, in the few weeks that she's been in New Orleans, she's an honorary member now already. Joey's
There we go.
accepted her. The whole volleyball community's like, yep, she's ours now. She's
Once
like,
Joe takes her in.
Exactly.
Once Joe cooks out some short ribs for you, you're in.
she hasn't
Joe,
had
I'm
the
ready.
short ribs. I was gonna say, if you come, you need to come to our ribeye dinner.
Yeah, I need to get in.
And
with
then
the
you know
crowd
what you need to do?
first.
You need to do
and
like
then not draw you
you need to do a
guys.
SANDCAST after dark, and just
Oh.
give Joey a bottle of wine, and that's what you need to do.
That could be
Actually,
entertaining.
I think a podcast with Joey Keener in New Orleans is a must.
There you go, Joey.
But if you're in Ostrava,
You're in.
we'll have to get a sub. But
God, I don't know.
I'll be able to pull out the stories from him if you want. If you need a guest
we'll
host,
take you.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to take my spot there. It's all you.
You can't skip the elites.
I really want to.
Yeah.
Well, even if we skip it, the whole point of skipping it would be to like break up the whole Turkey, Ostrava, Latvia world champs for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So then if I skipped an elite and then played in AVP, I wouldn't exactly be taking a break.
True.
I'm trying to figure out any situation to where it makes sense to play it in New Orleans, but it's not looking good.
Yeah. Joey Keener, coming for you, buddy.
There we
yes.
Yeah, well, we've kept you here for a while. Is there anything that we haven't mentioned that you want to bring up?
I think one thing we've mentioned him a couple of times, but I want to give him a little more airtime, and I know he'd kick my ass if I didn't give him a little more airtime. Is JD and how much he's meant to my journey. Because I mean, I think a lot of people don't know that like 2017 and we made two rounds to get in. And then I got in a third one in 2019 with Kevin Vlela, but we like went through a lot and grew up a lot together, and like kind of just like lived your true we were kings beach volleyball bum lifestyle. But he helped kind of like build what I am today. You know what I mean? And I had a lot of like partnership years with him, and a great friend now in volleyball, but he means a lot to this journey, and like we still talk a lot, and still trying to like, I mean, like he at a certain point was like watching film of me and like talking to Joey like, hey, I feel like we could do this, and like he was really part of like the team still, you know what I mean, even though at a certain point we parted ways and he had to go be big boy dad to Mav. But he was he's still a huge part of that success, and I'll give you our road dog story of the century for a parting gift, and to me it's like the epitome of like of the Blues Brothers. Whenever they're like, we got 106 miles to Chicago, got a full tank of gas, half pack of cigarettes, let's get it. And so basically this is what we did. So it was the first time we made the round to get in. We lost to Chase Frischman and
New York.
Michael Brunsting in New York. Yeah, and we were staying with one of JD's friends in Harlem. But at that point, we booked all of our trips super far in advance because we were just trying to like figure out how we could do it as cheap as possible, and that's the best way to do it. And we were like on like Spirit and like, and so like, we have like one backpack like packed for like 5 days from like Wednesday to Sunday. Because we're like, you know what, we're gonna do it. Like we're gonna qualify our time. We're gonna make Sunday. We gotta be prepared if that happens. But we end up doing that in New York, and we didn't really have any money. So we lost on Thursday, and we're like, crap. We have like $80 between the two of us in our bank accounts for the weekend. It's like $20 a meal in New York. This just doesn't add up. But we end up finding out the girl we're staying with, she's like, yeah, there's a tournament in New Jersey. We're going to play on Saturday. And so we're like, how much does it cost? And she's like, $80. And we're like, no way. No way. And so we go, like, drop our $80 on the registration for a Gav, and we drive there that morning. Don't have food the entire day. So like breakfast, we wake up at like 5 a.m, and we're like, well, all right, we've got our we don't even have water actually. I was gonna say we're gonna have our gallons of water, but we didn't have water.
It's like Dumb and Dumber.
Yes, we're like we don't have money for anything. They're just like, all right, well, we're gonna show up and we'll see what happens. So we actually show up to the beach in New Jersey. I don't know if you knew this, but there's actually private beaches.
Yeah.
And so we had to pay like $6 each.
Oh yeah, that blew my mind.
And like thankfully I had like $20 in my wallet. Like thankfully, like so I was like, all right, this is it. We're getting onto the beach, and let's roll it. We lose our first game of pool play. And we're like,
God, I'm hungry.
Shit. And you're like, so hungry, man. And so like I had my $20, and so we take the $8 left that we didn't use on getting onto the beach, and we go in. We decide the best thing to get at that point. We're depressed. We're sad. We split an ice cream cone.
Nice.
Oh, no.
No, I love my treats, Trav.
No real fuel.
And so we go and buy an ice cream cone, and we just split this ice cream cone. You're like, you know what, man? Let's just go have fun.
I'm trying to picture you guys splitting an ice cream cone.
You take it.
Not like an ice cream sandwich where you can bring, just trading licks.
Yes. We spent a lot of time together.
Cool, that's cool.
And so you're like, you know, all right, let's go have fun the rest of the day. We end up breaking out a pool. We went to the last 3 games, and then it was one of those just like play and like hopefully we finish before dark tournaments.
Yeah.
it's funny because a lot of the teams we've played against, there's like teams who are still relevant in the qualifier today. So like we end up playing like a really young Jake Arudia in the semis in Orrin, that little lefty.
Yeah, Zindorf.
Yeah,
he's freaking
and so
good.
we end up playing them in the semis. We beat them in the semis. And at this point, all of like the friends and stuff, they're like out the tournament and they're like shoveling all their snacks at us. They're like giving us water and like they're like, all right, we're invested in this now. Like we had this one friend and she like recruited a whole like team for us. Like, all right, if y'all got extras, if we got leftovers, get them for the boys. And we end up playing like legend on the East Coast, Chris Frazier in the finals, and he's playing with Josue. Steelers, I mean, still two really good players that are still playing in the qualifiers and stuff. And we're playing 1-28. In the middle of the game, we're down. JD has a heart condition, and like at that point, like he had no clue like how to like control it. Yeah. And so he like just bought like a heart monitor, and like in the middle of the game, he's like, dude, all I know is my heart rate's like 190. I might die right now. Oh God. And so we call a medical timeout, and he's like, dude, I don't think we can finish. And I was like, but we need food. Like, you're playing. That's not happening. Like, no, we're finishing this so I can eat. And we end up finishing. We're down 27-25 in a game of 28. Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, we've lost. Oh well.
Not eating for days.
And then, well, I guess it's been good, JD. We end up coming back, like hitting like 2 triple aces or like hitting a line. And like, I was talking about Josue in Panama City, actually. I was like, I remember that freaking game, man. Like, he's like, I'm so upset about that game to this day. He's like, I don't know how y'all ended up winning that game. We're up 27-25. And then we end up winning 29-27. And like, all the people that were giving us snacks like stormed the court. It's like the Super Bowl. They were like, we can eat. And then we end up going to Wawa, which is like,
oh, nice.
Yeah. Like the best
place.
gas station you could possibly ever go to.
When you said best, I thought you were gonna say like restaurant.
No, it's like
station.
Like this gas station has like all of like the foods you could want. You order like on a touch screen, and like they like give you like and
That's
so
impressive.
like. We go and order like $30 worth of food at this Wawa, like which is really hard to do because it's cheap gas station food.
Right. Yeah.
I ordered like a dozen donuts and like chicken strips and all kinds. I mean, like literally, I'm like, I'm blowing the budget. We're getting whatever we want tonight.
That's like Hawaii. I feel like I came up to the mainland and I didn't realize that people don't like eat their meals at 7-Eleven and like the gas station.
Yeah.
In Hawaii we have like manapuas and like all the musubis and full meals. They don't really do that here.
On the East Coast,
they do a little bit maybe.
Up and down the East Coast, we have a lot of like Wawas, and I had this place called Sheets growing up.
Sheets, they have best coffee.
Yeah, Sheets is great. But yeah, Wawa, you can do some damage.
It's the road dog life.
We
Serious
did
road dog life right there.
Yes,
I love it. Love JD. He was both of our like first like open partners. JD Hamilton.
His favorite story to tell, and he's gonna love that I say it now, is the first time we ever played together, I was 15 and I was still short and fat. And he never lets me forget. He's like, he's like, no matter how good you ever get, whenever I play with you, you're short and fat. And we split block.
Now, you're not short and fat anymore. Mikkel's got you ripped up. Yeah,
feeling really good.
Good.
Really, really good.
So you and Bill.
It also helps not being in Louisiana anymore where there's like fried food around every corner.
Dude, it is so hard to be healthy down there, man. Like in Panama City, me and Tim were like, how are people not fat here? And then we looked around, we were like, oh,
they are.
Everyone is fat. It's so hard. Like
I like felt bad because like I mean Bill like super like health conscious and like he's like, yeah, let's go out to eat, and I was like trying to like find places, and I was like,
yeah,
Bill's gonna die this weekend. There's no food that he can eat.
Man, you go to like Drago's and like, dude, the best oysters in the world. But it's like you were just taking out a stick of butter with a side of an oyster, and it's amazing. But you get out of New Orleans, man, you come back 5-10 pounds heavier.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you're grateful for it. You love it.
Sounds great.
It is.
It's love. That's all it is. The love sticks to
love handles.
You got Mexico coming up, and then are you going to try to get in FIVBs?
Yeah, so we have Mexico this weekend coming up, then Austin. And then hopefully after Austin will be, I don't think it'll end up happening, Madrid.
We pulled out. Yeah.
Thanks.
We were on the reserve
One step
list.
closer.
We were on the reserve list with 450 points.
I was going to say, there's like,
We'd have been main draw in Australia.
there was like, no, it's, which one is it? It's, one of them coming up has like 80-something teams signed up for the freaking futures.
Crazy, man. Yeah.
And I was like,
If they're in Europe, it's going to be way harder because
yeah.
it's just closer.
I was
to
like
us.
looking and I was like, for a futures, to get in realistically, you have to have like 500 points now.
Which on the World Tour is
It's a
at
solid
that
number.
level, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Considering, if you win in Norseca, you split 320.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it'll take a minute.
Yeah, so I'm
build that
hoping
base.
like obviously Bill's still got some points. He's able to place a finish.
Nice.
He only has he's like a 20-point finish. So
That's good.
if we can do well this weekend, we'll be in a much better range.
Yep.
And then there's one tournament, Turkey. There's a futures the same weekend as Turkey.
Oh, nice.
I think it's Greece, and so hopefully, I looked at the overlap, and there's a lot of overlap in teams that will be in the qualifier for the Challenger, but also are signed up for the future. So.
You'll definitely get your chance because there's a lot of futures where there are 3 futures on the same weekend.
Right.
Yeah,
And
so
now
like
you
I think
take
that's like
advantage of that.
Lithuanian, Jordan.
Jordan, yeah.
So those are like the ones that we're looking at coming
Yeah,
up.
you'll get into one of those for sure.
Love it.
And then hopefully it's all up from there.
Have you played overseas yet?
No.
You got a passport?
Yeah, I do.
That's good.
I didn't
Check.
when we first started the show.
Yeah.
I got one right before I graduated college because my original plan was to go play indoors overseas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then COVID happened, which I was like, COVID's like the biggest
wow.
blessing in my life now.
Dang.
I was like, COVID made me, because I wanted to play beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Like that was my goal, but I was like, it's gonna take a while to make some
Yeah,
money.
go
like,
make a few bucks.
yeah,
guaranteed
but then
money.
like it took all the sponsorship money away from all of the clubs because they didn't finish their contracts from the previous year. And so like they were like I think it was like a club in Portugal, they're like, we'll give you $500 a month for 8 months.
Oh gosh.
They pay for like 2 meals a day and housing. But you had to buy your flight. You had to buy like
They didn't fly you over?
no. And I was like, by the time I buy my flight and eat a third meal every day, I'm already losing money.
you're down.
Yeah, no.
I was like, screw this. I'm gonna stay at home and lose money playing beach volleyball.
Right. Yeah, might as well.
But it ended up. I mean, we won so much that actually did make a little bit of money.
Yeah, you did all right.
Hell yeah. Well, good luck this year, dude.
Thanks.
See you out there.
Yeah.
8th seed? I think we're the 1. That's
If we win our first, yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, we'll play this here.
Yeah, if you both win your first, you got the 8 versus 1.
Yep.
Love to see
Crowd
that.
favorite over here. Still
in the southeast,
Yeah,
kinda.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think we're the crowd favorite like
Ever.
anywhere. Just being from Hawaii, it's like.
I think in Manhattan, you guys, I think people were pulling for you guys.
Yeah, it depends who we're playing.
Well, I feel like Sunday for you, like there was like this point in like the second set against Cam and Theo.
Oh yeah.
Where like you just saw it, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, there's another like switch that like
Yeah.
just got turned on.
Yeah.
And then like once that happened, like you won everybody over.
Yeah, I felt that one for sure.
Yeah.
I had to stay on the gas pedal for the remainder of the day. Yeah. Good stuff.
Right on,
See you,
boys.
man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming
Of
on, Ev.
course.
Yes, sir.
See you in Mexico, brother.
Yeah.
Shoots. Shoots.